So we want to invite a few brave souls to join us over here on the bima. For those of us who are here, come on up, join us up here on the bima. We want to be turned towards one another this evening as we celebrate our holiday.
I thought these were for the choir. Are you in the choir?
You know, back in the old days when the temple had to go to the carpenter center company, we had a thing company. And sometimes there were so many people back in the day that they had sitting in the wings of the stage at the carpenter center. And I remember sitting, you know, you didn't get there at the time to get in the comfortable seats who were on the stage.
Together and we lived together and we had kids together. Well, you know,
We didn't drive together.
well, there.
We are all busy today. I've known him since 1971.
Our son is 18, so
I want to invite, for those of us who are just coming up, come on up. There's some seats here. Let's be together. Let's join together. Let's face one another tonight. Come on up. Those of us who are joining, come on up. Come join us here. We have a few seats still over here. Come on up. Well, the Talmud begins with a very simple question. And that is, when is it the right time to pray? And for anyone who has looked at rabbinic literature, it is a bit of a case study in ADHD, jumps around, goes into all different kinds of things, wonders about certain things and asks certain questions and goes into different stories, and it concludes this question with a very simple statement. It's time to pray when we are able to see the faces of our neighbors. Tonight, we are turning to one another, and it is the right time to pray because we are one. In this space, we will welcome in a sanctuary. In this space, we will welcome in a connection with the divine. And so we'll sing together, we'll pray together, and we will be together as one community. As we start this day, I'd like to invite up Saphira and her family, Phoenix and Beth and Seth, to start this day together as one, to start this day as one community, and to start this celebration, as we know that celebrations are made so much greater by being with each other. Come on over.
Baruch
Now it is each and every one of our jobs to say Mazel Tov to Safira at some point tonight.
Mazel tov.
There we go. Well, we continue blessing this day with the words Ma Yafeh Hayom. What beauty we find on the day we just began. I invite us to turn to page 10 of our prayer books. Page 10. We continue on page 7. Where is this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it, the joy of life and the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time and contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life, and let me learn to pause, if only on this day. Let me find peace on this day, and let me enter into a quiet world on this day of Shabbat, abide. We continue singing out a new song on page 12 of our prayer books.
Dedicated to our new members. Sing a new song with us. Adonai, Shir Shir Hadash. Shiru 'cause we're all just singing a new song. Yeah. Shiru, Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash. Shiru, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shmo. Basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato. Unto God, sing a song. Let the whole world sing a song. Raise your voice, let the whole world rejoice, 'cause we're all just singing a new song. Singing a new song. Singing a new song.
Continue with Lachado D, an opportunity to welcome Shabbat as if she were a bride here on her wedding day. And so not yet, but when we get to the final verse of our song, I'm going to invite us to rise and to turn to the door through which we entered our sanctuary, welcoming Shabbat, as if she were here walking in the door, sharing this evening with us. Page 20.
Dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, V'shemo tiferet v'letula. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela. Hitoreri, Ki ba'orech u'mi'ori, uri, shidaberi, Kevod Adonai alayif nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela.
Please rise.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam besimcha u'betzola, Toch emuneam segula. Boi chala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Nei Shabbat mekabela.
Please be seated. Well, this Shabbat, we begin a weekend together commemorating the work of a very powerful and important figure in our nation's history. And so, just as we express ourselves with song and prayer, this evening we express ourselves as well with poetry. And so I've asked Adolfo Guzman Lopez to offer to us a poem as a prayer this evening, commemorating and remembering the important work of Martin Luther King and the work that we still have to do as one.
Show here, Mike, whatever. Yeah? All right. Thanks, Rabbi. So when Rabbi asked me to share something, obviously lots of things came to mind. In particular, there's a great speech by Martin Luther King, 1955, right before the Montgomery bus boycotts, in which he really rouses the people. It's really a very motivational speech. They didn't know it was going to take a year. They didn't know it was going to take a year to, get, the city to remove the segregation. So I thought about that. I listened to it. But then I thought, well, I think what would be better is to bring some black voices into our shul. To bring, and not that, obviously Martin Luther King is one of the most important black voices in our country, but contemporary black voices, right? So I'm going to read a few, just something short from a book by somebody I know, Imani Tolliver. So she is a Los Angeles African-American poet who I know from the 1990s, and whose book Runaway is a collection of her poems. This is not Maya Angelou. This is not I Have a Dream. This is a story. So what I'm going to read is really a story which, if the Jewish tradition is anything, let me tell you a story, right? Christmas on the Bayou. Miss Betty's house sits tall on the bayou. There are imposing metal stairs that climb into a rush of pounding that makes the veal thin. The laughter and stories, the ones that come during the holidays. The accent here stews a bit with the tongue of the eastern shore. No regular southern twang in these parts. You remember that lime green bikini I had? Remember Mama? Yeah, it was hang 10 with defeat on the side. Daddy said, if he caught me in that again, he'd whoop my ass good. Now, all Miss Betty's babies are loud, but Evie's bray raises above all. Miss Betty circled around while Evie's brother cut the fat and gristle from the flesh, passing it to me to pound it thin and tender. We slid butter on the belly, coated it with crumbs, parsley, and Romano cheese, and rolled it into a tight, tiny cigar the size of a lady might smoke. In the pan it goes, packed tight. Miss Betty inspects it, gives it a bit of olive oil, and in the oven at 350 degrees. For how long? I ask. Until you can smell it real good. You pull one out and it's tender. You know it's done. Miss Betty's husband had open heart surgery and has a spot on his lung 2 centimeters. Evie says, he could be buried on that recliner. He tells me I can't handle this house, but I want to show him that I can, Ma. Just get you that trailer and put it right behind my house. Will you stay with me? The kids on over Mama's house and in the back. Miss Betty knows she will have to leave the house. She is prepared to do it if Papa doesn't make it through his next surgery, but her heart isn't in it. She doesn't want to go. My name is as unrecognizable as my face, but welcome just the same. Our friend from LA or Yank, despite the apology after it slipped out. I like the way it marks a history and battle that made me free. And this is a part of the poem where this week's Torah portion really made me see it, different. So this week's Torah portion, the Israelites go from a family to becoming a people enslaved, a people who have to build others' temples. They can't build their own. A people, if I'm not mistaken, have forgotten about their Judaism. Yeah, right? Very, right? And we're entering that season where we're going to remember, right? Pesach, right? So we, do all kinds of things to remember that enslavement. But it's really hard, really. I think it's really hard to remember that enslavement. So maybe instead of remembering that enslavement, our own enslavement, maybe we're to be empathetic to others' enslavement. Maybe that's a lesson, right? There you go. There you go. I wonder what the enslaved saw. I imagine them on the marshy wetland looking up at the stars through the Spanish moss of wide, tall trees. How bright they must have seemed, but plenty far away. Miss Betty and her children don't let your ice get lonely. So in comes Bacardi and Coke with real sugar. I haven't the nerve to ask for diet. One of the children asked me if I had seen any celebrities. Oh yeah, I said, as I go through my list, they lose interest, leaning back into the stories and rolling the meat. Miss Betty, Mama, laughs a younger laugh than I expected, shyer than the young folks that surround her. She snaps open her cigarette case elegantly and sits very still as she pours her rum and Coke. We all laugh at the clippings she saved on the side of the fridge, bizarre wedding photos, plumed crowns of new brides, faces smeared with white cake, and odd men besides their brides, looking more like carpetbaggers than grooms. On the way back to the city, my lap warmed with gifts from Miss Betty, 2 tins of spatini, jambalaya, and crab dip. I'm thankful for the stories and the rich, rich food on this cold Christmas Eve. Our differences were rubbed smooth for one night, the edges of our skin and histories fold into a better America. When I'm back in South Central, I hope the Spanish moss Evie gave me will grow on the palm trees in my backyard. We will drink our rum and Coke, close to our own waters, under the same stars, and remember that welcoming round tables was Dr. King's dream. He might not have been with us that night, but then again, in the best possible way, he was.
Will we heed this call? The words of Baruch Hu are a call to one another, and so I invite us to turn to page 28. Let's rise as one. Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmeroteim b'rakia kirtzono, borei yom balayla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, uma'avdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch alenu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv haravim.
This is an hour of change. on the border of light. Shall we drop back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we drop back or cross over? This is an hour of change, and we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we drop back or cross over? Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, u'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. V'im chayenu, le'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Be'ahavatcha al tasir, mineinu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
As we continue our Shema prayer with the V'ahavta, I'd like to call up Saphira. I'd like to invite everyone else to please be seated. All right, you ready? You got it.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה צווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך ובשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות פן עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם אני אדוני אלוהיהם אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיהם
Adonai Elohechem emet.
It's an appropriate time to say, well done, or yasher koach in the Hebrew. Yasher koach. We continue our service on page 40.
Who is like you? Yeah. No. Right. It's just you're doing you're doing a very different.
Well, we have many things to celebrate together this evening, and so in addition to bringing in this holiday of Shabbat, in addition to being with one another and celebrating this first day of Sephira's as she walks into adult life, we also welcome a young person in our community who is taking on a Hebrew name for the very first time. So I want to invite Mattingly to come on up. Mattingly actually had the opportunity to choose herself the name that she wanted this evening, and so we're all going to help her welcome this name, this blessing into her life. I'd like to call up, I know we have, we had a, here, I'm going to turn the microphone off for a second. Hold on, let's welcome the whole crew. Kylie and Stephen and Mattingly, come on up. Yeah. Mattingly, come on over here. Now, I think that it is fitting this evening that we are together in the round, because when you are in the community, the Jewish community, you should know that you are always surrounded by love. And there's something, I think, really powerful about having sacred moments, not just with one or two people, but with our community, with the whole circle of people who love and care about you. And so as a part of that, Mattingly, we are also going to give you the opportunity to wear a talit this evening. Now, this talit has a special significance in your family, as your mom wore this same talit when she became bat mitzvah. The memories of this talit taking on and adding, being added to in this moment. So I'd like to invite, we're going to say the blessing together. We can, if anybody would like to join with me, the words are very similar to a lot of the words that we share as blessings. The last words are lehit atef bat tzitzit. Let's offer this blessing together, and then we'll invite you to wear this talit. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit atef bat tzitzit. Now, as you take this talit around your shoulders, the hope is that it feels a little bit like a hug. Now, tonight also, we have a special blessing as you take on this name, this blessing in your life. And so, Mattingly, I want to offer this blessing for you. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu kayam et hayalda hazot la'aviha la'amiha v'yikra shema beYisrael tikva bat kochava Elisheva Shoshana v'Stephen. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, sustain this child through her parents' loving care. Let her be known among our people by the name Tikva. Tikva bat Kochava Elisheva Shoshana v'Stephen. May your name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our community and all humanity. May her parents rejoice in her continued growth of body, continued growth of soul. As they have brought her into this community, so may they, with the continued wisdom and patience, lead her to a life of meaningful learning, a life of good deeds, and a life of community and loving friendship and companionship. I invite all of us together to say, Amen. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your name? I'm going to get you. Yeah, okay, hang on. Mattingly is going to tell us a little bit about her choice for the name Tikva.
Why I chose my Hebrew name is because hope means happiness, and that's all my parents ever wanted for me. And what my Hebrew name means to me, it means happiness. Because that's what I wanted, because that's what I always wanted to bring to my parents from the day that I was born.
We want to offer another blessing to you in this moment. So Cantor Cooper and I are going to share some words with you. And Stephen and Kylie, I want to invite you to come over here. Why don't you surround Mattingly in this moment? We'll offer this blessing to you, Mattingly, that was offered many, many years ago. It's from the book of Genesis, passed down from generation to generation. Today, this blessing is for you.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face be turned toward you with graciousness.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May May God always watch over you, and may you be blessed with that greatest of gifts, that gift of peace. I invite us again together to say, Amen. Well, we have one more piece, as the next prayer that we're going to sing together is one that we wanted to invite Mattingly for you to share with Cantor Cooper. Mattingly is in our youth choir, and so as we continue our service, calling the beauty of this moment being enveloped like in angels' wings, or perhaps surrounded by love in community, we continue with the words of Hashkivenu. We can find those words on page 42.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot le'omecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Thank you for doing that. Awesome. Let me take that.
Well, we continue our service now with the words of the Amidah on page 46 of our prayer books. Page 46, I'd like to invite us to rise in body or in spirit.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Adonai, Svatai Tiftach. Adonai, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Adonai, open my Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chaste Avot ve'Imachot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah, Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim beChesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat halehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom, Yehallelujah selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue silently, either using the words on the pages to follow or other words we might find in our hearts. We'll join together again on page 62.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני
So 5 years ago, I became a bat mitzvah, and the parsha was Shemot, which is what the parsha is this week. So it's the 5th anniversary of my bat mitzvah, so I'm 18. And I wrote a poem for my Devar Torah. I wrote a poem because I was really inspired by the women of Shemot and all that they did behind the scenes, and how it was really the women that moved the story forward and that saved Moses. And he was able to do everything he did because of the midwives and because of his mother and because of his sister and because of the Pharaoh's daughter. And I was struck by that. And my class, I was in a group of 10 women. So it was really a Benot mitzvah. And we were 10 women strong. And so it really inspired me. So I wrote this poem. And then one day, Adolfo said to Bill, you should use this and write a song. And he did. And I didn't even know. And then one day, Bill presented this song to me. So I'd like to sing it every year in Shemot, if it's okay with you and if it's okay with Bill. And who were the first to be named? Their courage is where it all starts. Defying the earthly ruler for a heavenly one. Listening to their hearts. Women of Shemot. Hides her son and sends him down the river. His sister watches in the reeds, praying that God will deliver. Sails towards freedom, sails towards a life, holding a people's hope. Sorry, I skipped a page. Surrounded by women deciding his fate, a common historical trope. A woman appears, her heart is strong. Okay, let's start over. That wasn't good.
If you can't tell, she challenges me. We inspire each other.
Yes.
And,
this is hard.
This is on the edge of an expanding universe. This is how this works.
Sing it with me, okay? Will you sing it with me? Sing it with me.
I will do my best. Okay. So let's take it a little bit slow.
Yes, really fast.
The story's never ending.
The first to be named, their courage is where it all starts. Defying the earthly ruler for a heavenly one. And listening to their hearts. Women of Shemot. Women of Shemot. A Hebrew woman hides her son and sends him down the river. His sister watches in the reeds, praying that God will deliver. He sails towards freedom. He sails towards a life, holding a people's hope. Surrounded by women deciding his fate, a common historical trope. Woman has power, this woman has choices, while others must rise above fear and release the child toward their hope that one like her will appear. She takes the boy, their hearts rejoice, this blessed mother's dream. It's still unknown what his path will be, that his people he will redeem. In the shadows and on the sidelines, women steer the course. Men get the I know, right? Let's do it again next year. Okay, let's rehearse though, next time. Let's rehearse.
We know that voice is the first step towards healing. And so tonight we have lifted up the voices of African Americans in our community. We have lifted up the voices of women in our community, and we know too that there are more ways that we need healing in this world. So I'd like to invite us to turn our thoughts now to those in our community who are in need of healing. And that is a healing of the body or the mind, the spirit or the soul. For those of us who are joining online, I'd like to invite you to share the names of those that you are thinking of in the chat at this time. And for those of us who are here, I'd like to invite us to take a look at our handout, where we've placed the names of those in our community who are in need of healing. Healing takes many different forms, and prayer is one, a source of strength, and so is a phone call, an email. Let's be that source of comfort and strength to each other. You see a name in this list, someone that maybe you haven't seen for a little bit. Reach out to them. Let them know that you are thinking of them. It does make a difference. It's powerful. I also, this particular Shabbat, call our minds to our greater world that is in need of healing, as this is the 1-year anniversary of the incident in Colleyville, Texas. We have much healing to do. Our community, this Shabbat especially, calls to mind those who have recently come onto our list. And so our hearts go out to Karen Kalichman and Kim DeSalles, Ray Edelman, Harriet Ellis, Joel Epstein, Linda Fox, Ann Martin, Jerry Prell, Martha Davis, Cassandra Diaz, Allison Duncan, Elizabeth Gold, Shane Hernandez, Richard Karshensky, Paul Lieberman, many different voices of healing.
Amen. Yeah.
Paul Lieberman, Linda Moran, Sydney Pooter. If you are here in our sanctuary and are thinking of someone in particular and want to share their name aloud so that we can all hold that person in our hearts as we offer this prayer, I invite you to share their name as my eyes meet yours. Michael Dickstein and Summer Cheston.
Ivy and Christian.
Diane Saltzman, Lynn and Frank Garrett, and Kristen Zinka.
Brian Dunleavy and Jeff Weaver.
We add to these names Claire Steinberger, Linda Lord, Mike Huffey, Olivia Escoboza, and Michelle Dunn. we turn now to the very first prayer of healing ever offered in our tradition. The words that Moses uttered when he was asking for healing of God, the words are El na rifanala. El na rifanala. You can find these words on page 373 of our prayer books. I spoke to a colleague recently who said that she was going to teach everything that you could learn about Judaism by going through the prayer book, one prayer after the next. She said they were going to sit together as a class and open up the book, and each and every prayer was going to open up a different part of the conversation of what it means to be a part of our community. And we have all of these different prayers because we have all of these different needs as a community and as an individual. Some evenings I'll find that Hashkivenu speaks to me very powerfully, and other times I have a need for Shema, different times for different prayers. And each prayer also is meant to speak to different people at different times as well, and so too do different people offer different voices in our community. And so, this particular Shabbat, we welcome some new voices into our community. New members into what it means to build a sacred space, and I would like to suggest that each and every one of us is like a prayer, woven into the service, set into the prayer book of our people, each with a distinct and different voice that is needed. And that as we offer our voices and our place and our presence in this community, that we change it just a little bit and create a new and sacred space because of it. And so it is only fitting that we, as one community, welcome in our new members with a little bit of prayer. Now, there is a prayer at the top of one of the pages in our prayer book, and I'm going to invite us in just a moment to offer these words to our new members. There is a Hebrew line at the bottom, and I don't want us to worry about that particular line, but I want us to be able to offer words together as one as we welcome these new members. So for those of us who are members of the community who are perhaps more than just a little bit new to the community, I want to invite us to turn to page 258. And for those of us who are new members to our community, I would like the opportunity to welcome you. And so I invite you please to rise and let us offer these words to you. Our new members, please rise. We'll offer these words to each of you. Let's join together the top of page 258. Page 258, let's offer this blessing of welcome to those new in our community. Welcome to each and every one of you. Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion in prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Let's sing together the words of Shehechianu as we celebrate this moment. Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Mazel tov to each of us. Please be seated.
Yeah, amen.
Well, our thoughts now turn to those in our community who have died in recent days or in this season in years past. And so I'd like to again invite those who are joining us online to share the names of those that they are thinking of in the chat at this time. Together, our hearts go out to those in our community who are observing Shiva and Shloshim, the 7 and 30 days after the death of someone near to them. And so as we remember Salvador Mayo, we think of Howard and Dove and Shelby and Max and Ruby. And as we remember Joshua Kay, our hearts go out to Dorothy and Roberta and Harvey, Wendy and Pamela. And as we remember Harriet Zamansky, our hearts go out to Wayne and Joanne, Elizabeth, Haley, and Emma. Additionally, this Shabbat, we mark the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of George Albert, Irving Axel, Harold Bernstein, Lena Butler, Edward Cameron, Kurt Schiripper, Stephen Eagle, Jack Friedman, Goldie Garfield, Rosa Glazer, Morris Gold, Joan Gordon, Don Gordon, Joan Gordon, Stan Gould, Francis Gundry, Rosalind Hertz, Edward Karabinick, Maureen Klein, Larry Leonardo, Rose Levin, Isaac Levin, Sam Lillian, Rosa Martinez, Bennett Olens, Libby Rabin, Lynn Raphael, David Rumi, Inez Sassoon, Sydney Sharzer, Arlene Solomon, Bernard Sauce, Ida Spiegel, Jack Spiegel, Ann Stedman, Theodore Watler, Max Wysotsky, Melvin Whitkin, Sarah Zimmerman, and Edith Rothstein. If you are thinking of someone in particular this Shabbat, and you'd like to share their name aloud so that we can all hold that person and you in our hearts, I'd like to invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours.
Grandmother Ida Haith. Donald James Veit.
we add to these names all of those that we hold in our hearts. I'd like to invite us to turn to page 294, and to rise as one as we offer these sacred words. Yitkadal, Yitkadash Shemiraba, Be'alma Divrachu Te, Ve'amlich Malchute, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, Uvchaye Dechol Beit Israel, Ba'gala Ubizman Kari Vimru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Leolam Olmel Maya, It Barach, Vit Tabach, Vit Pa'ar, Vit Ramam, Vit Naseh, Vit Hadar, Vit Taleh, Vit Talal, Shemei de Kudisha, Barichu, Le'ela Minko Birchata, Beshirata, Tushbachata, Benechamata, Damiran Be'alma, Vimru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Alinu V'al Kol Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. Osei Shalom Bimramav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Alina V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Vimru, Amen. Zichronam Libracha, may the memories of those near to us always be a source of blessing. I invite us together to say, Amen. And please be seated. I'd like to invite up a member of our board of directors, Ron Artstein, to offer some announcements this evening. I did see Ron here. Yeah, come on up.
Yeah. So, welcome everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all our new members and our less new members. I'm Ron. I am secretary of the board for this year at least. Who knows what's going to happen next year? And I'll just like to tell you about some upcoming events. So first of all, tonight's special oneg, that's the reception that we had before, is provided as part of our membership programming and also sponsored by Beth Lezen and Seth Hilbrand. I hope I'm pronouncing the names correctly, in honor of Safira's bat mitzvah. So thank you for your sponsorship. Tomorrow morning, join Rabbi Fox for our weekly Torah study. We were just told that the parsha is Shmot. Beginning at 8:45 a.m., we are back to being in person. So it'll be right here in Alban Hall, apparently. In Alban Hall, that's over there. Yeah. And also on Zoom. So if you need the Zoom link, you can find it in the email that comes in from Temple. Or ask me. I'm not that I remember it. Tomorrow, Shabbat morning services begin at 10:30, so there's a little bit of a gap between the Torah study and the Shabbat morning service. And this time, we will celebrate the bat mitzvah of Safira Hilbrand. Mazal Tov. And I also want to remind everybody that Bnei Mitzvah is a community celebration. So please come, show up in support of our bat mitzvah. I want to be on good terms with the rabbi, so I'm not going to say it's more important than Torah studying Torah, but it's at least it's as important. I'd say that showing up for a Bnei Mitzvah is as important as studying Torah. So especially if you come to Torah study, stick around. This Tuesday and Thursday, January 17th and 19th, join our Joys of Jewish Learning. It's online at 12 p.m. We welcome Rabbi Robin Funberg to teach us about great Jewish thinkers of the 20th century. Hard to believe it's been more than 20 years since the 20th century, but yeah. It's moving to our past. Also, there's the Introduction to Judaism class with Rabbi Fox and Rabbi Loving. It's just getting started. I believe the first meeting was this week, but there's still time to join. It's Wednesday evenings. Contact Temple office if you're interested. It's not only for people who are new to Judaism, but also people who just want a refresher or just want to learn more. Please join. Unless, of course, you're in the cast of the Purim Spiel, because then this class conflicts with your rehearsals. And don't worry, this year, I'm not going to scare you by wearing payas because I have a different role. There's many other classes and programs that meet weekly. Please make sure to read the your Shabbat program. That's the little sheets that we handed out at the door. Or view the calendar on our website, which is sometimes it's kept up to date. If you ever have any question about how to attend our classes and programs, look for our emails, call the temple office. Our staff is always very happy to help you. Welcome and Shabbat Shalom.
We continue to hold in front of us a vision of a world fully at peace, and we offer ourselves a little taste of that on the holiday of Shabbat. And so we conclude our service with a reminder of where that peace can go in our world, how we can make our world just a little bit sweeter by bringing peace into our hearts as well. Ojivo, page 353. 353, Ojivo, let's sing together.
Oh, we skipped it. D, sorry. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, ve'al shalom. Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, Ojivo shalom aleinu, ve'al shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, shalom, shalom.
Well, I want to offer a special thank you to Bill Shafton, Sherry Sanaga, Mike Malinowski for bringing in some powerful, amazing, beautiful music.
We have the most talented congregation.
We do.
These are our congregants, and they're so talented, and it's the best band ever.
Yeah. A special thank you as well to Paul for setting up the sound.
Oh,
this
best
evening.
sound guy ever. Woohoo!
Should we do Kiddush? Yeah, all right, so let's
do it.
continue. Let's take the sweetness of this moment, place it right there in our cup with our blessing for our Kiddush. All right. This is a Cantor Cooper.
Your trip looked so exciting. Sure, Jordan. Pictures.
All right, let's join together for our blessing for our challah.
You're throwing knives. It's a little bit.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Let's join together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila, lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol